So for me, as I started out just figuring out and carving out my career trajectory, I found that there are 3 points that allowed me to get established into the place that I am. So we can move to the next slide. So that is me. I think this was 2016 with Musale Menesi, who had come to speak at the Centonomy campus edition. At that time, I was running a fashion blog that failed because I didn't have the money to sustain Victor Peace and all these other fancy photographers. And I just remember sitting down with my dad, and we discussed the business plan of how to do this fashion blog. And he was like, Florence, I'm so sorry. This business you want to do is too expensive. You have to think of something else. So here is where I got the benchmark to do my home bakery, which was the first business I did. I used to sell cupcakes for 30 bob. Anyone here from the University of Nairobi? Come on, guys. Anyone from the University of Nairobi? Maybe it's because, we are known for throwing stones, so usijiseme. But I'm from the University of Nairobi very proudly, and I used to sell cupcakes at 30 bob to my classmates, and I just learned that from Centonomy. With that little background, I just want to get you to the first point for today. So I just want you to look at your neighbor and tell them, this is about you. Why I say that is because in as much as I'm telling you my story and we're telling you our stories, whoever has been on this marvelous podium, this is about you. And when it got time for me to think about myself and where I wanted to be, I first dreaming and desiring something good for myself. You can't build anything if you don't dream and if you don't desire something good for yourself. I'm so privileged to be raised by people who exposed me to books more than they exposed me to television. My parents are shrewd academicians, and they would give us Reader's Digest, they would buy us books, and I spent a lot of time, instead of watching TV, most of the time, we were reading books. And those books opened my mind to dream and say, wow, I want to go to Europe. I still haven't crossed the border before, but I can tell you something about Netherlands. I can tell you something about the World Economic Forum. I can tell you something about Australia. I can tell you something about all these countries because I learned how to read. And that helped me desire something good for myself. I also had to take time and figure out who I was, because you can't address what's outside of you until you address what's inside of you. So know who you are. And when you know who you are, you'll know what you want. And when you know what you want, it will influence how you carry yourself and what you do. So I took some time. As an adolescent, there were massive changes I went through, and these changes forced me to look down inside myself and get to a place of self-retrospect. And then I landed in Centonomy. So I get to class, and I'm being asked, how much do you want to be worth in the next 5 years? And I was like, whoa, I've never answered that question. In the next 10 years, how much do you want to be worth? If you know what it is, write it down. I wrote $100 million, but I think I'll do ×3 for that. That's my current desire right now, and I'm building towards that. So want something, desire something, seek something, pursue something. And that also led me to be in a position where I had to hang around people who were better than myself. People who challenged me, like the people in the Centonomy class. You listen to someone and you're like, wow, that is interesting. I thought I knew something about fashion. I thought I knew something about youth. I thought I knew something about development until I got into a space where people desired something greater for themselves. So go into the class because being around a community of people who desire greatness really changes and really accelerates that thing that's inside of you, that dream that's inside of you. You get pushed to desire that this dream must manifest because I'm sitting around people who are like me. We want something better. So in this picture, you're seeing 3 young men dressed in, with really interesting facial expressions. So this is a photograph from my latest project. I did a short film project called the Nakupenda Film Project as part of my final exam at the University of Nairobi. I'm not a producer. I'm a fashion designer, but I did something to market myself because the class taught me that I shouldn't aim to be normal. And that's the poster of the movie. And so what I did, I got my team together and we designed the clothes, we styled the clothes, we wrote the script, just a group of young, passionate people. And we looked for support. And we said we are young people and we need support, and thank God we got the support. After you desire something for yourself, you have to get the skills and the knowledge. Without the skills and the knowledge, you can want a house, but you have to know how to build the house. You have to know who's best at building the house you need. So going to Centonomy was a good addition for me. I was doing my degree course. I was doing courses like statistics. I was doing courses like marketing. But I knew there are some things you're never taught in university. There are some things, even if your parents or your guardian have the best intentions, they won't always teach you what you need to know. So sitting in the Centonomy class helped me to understand that I needed to add my skills and I needed to add my knowledge and I needed to top up because I don't know everything. Something interesting has just come to my mind. You can only fill an empty basket. So when you keep yourself at this place where you're like, I know everything, nobody's going to add value to you. So it's a constant journey of humility. Waking up in the morning and saying, wow, my basket's empty. Can I imagine the things that can be put inside that basket today? Or are we just going to be like, oh, I did my MBA, I did this, I did that, I already did it. Been there, done that. Skills and knowledge. Internships. Short courses like the ones at Centonomy. Those are the things that build you. Maybe, MBAs are so famous, but that's not all you can do. Anything, online courses, YouTube, there's so much information. But we have to get to the place where we're moving from the age of information to the age of insight, where we select the information we need. And I feel like everyone here is at a place where they're like, okay, everybody has something to say, but I need the right thing for me to be able to move forward. So I want to encourage you, build your skills, build your knowledge, even those little skills. If you're usually told, oh my goodness, you're good with kids, don't take that for granted. You can build something with that. That's why sitting in classes like Career 101, they help you get the direction for where you need to go. Build your skills and knowledge. Read some books. Buy tea. I was listening to someone speaking and they were saying you should get into the habit for buying coffee or buying tea for a person once every 2 weeks. Because you can learn so much. Just that coffee date. Even whether you're a student, like I was a student, tea at Ufungamano was 50 bob, 30 bob, That's still tea for me. Or if you go on later and you're like, okay, at least I can afford Java now, buy that tea for someone. Someone who challenges you, someone who you feel you can grow with, someone who you think can mentor you. Buy tea for them. Invite people into your space. Talk to them. Let your words come out so that people can build your vision. And not just any people, but reliable people. Because unfortunately, we live in a world where people like projecting their fears on you. And if you're not careful, you'll succumb to that. Now that you're informed, now that you've done something to build your skills and your knowledge, you execute your vision. One of the final classes at Centonomy Campus Edition, we were told, write a summary of a business that's going to make a turnover of 5 million shillings in a year. And you had to do the math. You have to do the math. The best way to start, write it down. Just the want to make business out of public speaking. I want to be a musician. I want to sell paintings. Write it down. Then when you write it down, assess it, prototype it. We're taught about business plans. Those things are important. Your skill is not the only important thing. That's why you need people who can help you get to where you need to be. Community is such an essential thing for business people. Sometimes we think that learning at Cambridge is what makes you great. It's not. Understanding the value of people. Understanding the value that you can't build a business empire on your own. Understanding the value that your investment needs to have impact on other people. You have to care about people. If you don't care about people, you won't be able to build anything. So get into the place where if you're not able to write down, the people at Centonomy can still help. I'm so glad I still have a conversation, active conversations going on. Some people like Wendy, who is helping register out there. She was our youth administrator, and I can still call her and ask her, hey, I'm doing this. And she'll update me. The other day she told me, oh, you know, I'm doing my MBA. And I was like, wow, that is so amazing. And in this set of community, you're able to grow. You're able to grow. As you build your information, get feedback from mentors. I do feel that this institution has very good mentors. Very good mentors. And if you have a business plan, if you have a dream, this is the place to unleash your dream. Talk to someone. Let your vision be examined by people who are more experienced than you, and do not fear. Sometimes you'll fail. Just don't be scared. Keep solving, keep innovating, keep saving. Execute your dream. Execute your dream. The last thing I'd like to say, avoid the pressure to succeed immediately. Centonomy is not a place that teaches people about overnight success. It teaches people about steps. So whether you're in first year and you're sitting here, or if you're 31, 45, 53, this is not about overnight success. Avoid that pressure, that Instagram life of, oh my gosh, you know, I started driving a G-Wagon after 1 year, 6 months. You know, I'm stunting on Instagram. Did you know a G-Wagon is a liability? Did you know? You learn that in Centonomy. And you'll swipe down when you learn that in Centonomy. That pressure sometimes is what eats us up as young people, because I'm a young person. You want to prove a point, but take ownership of growth. Because things that grow are the things that manifest beautifully. Allow yourself to grow. You may want to have savings, but even if you don't have all those savings right now, take pride in your effort. Take pride in your progress. I learned to accept my growth in Centonomy when I was taught about saving over even 20 years, 30 years. And the most permanent things are the things that are built strategically, carefully, brick by brick, panel by panel. Yes, you might be famous, but that is not growth. Growth is understanding that progresses step by step. Apply for Centonomy, guys. If you know someone who's younger than you, tell them to apply for Centonomy.